Every summer, Arsenal fans debate one question: who is the player that can finally take the team to the next level? For years, Arsenal have been building under Mikel Arteta. They have developed one of the best defences in Europe, created an elite midfield, and built a squad capable of challenging for the best trophies. He's built a Prem-winning team, a Champions League finalist team. But there's always been one problem: the attack has sometimes been too predictable. When Bukayo Saka is unavailable or heavily marked, Arsenal can struggle to create that same level of danger. Gabriel Martinelli has offered pace and direct running, while Trossard has brought creativity and intelligence. But in games where they're all marked and it's a low block, we have to rely on corners and Gabriel and Rice to create those chances for us. But Arsenal have been looking for something different: a winger who can score goals, create chances, press aggressively, and fit perfectly into Arteta's tactical system. That player is Christos Tzolis. At first, many fans questioned the move. Some remembered his difficult spell at Norwich and wondered why would Arsenal spend the big money on a player who struggled in England before. But football is about the development, and the player Arsenal are looking at now is completely different. This is why he was signed. Now, just before we go into it, a little bit of background. Many people might not know who he is. Tzolis arrived at Norwich City in 2021. Expectations for him were huge. He was at PAOK, 19 years of age. His reputation across Europe was enormous: 16 goals, 10 assists. He was one of the most exciting teenagers in Europe. Norwich spent £10 million to bring him into England. However, the move did not go to plan. Norwich were relegated from the Premier League, the team struggled creatively, and Tzolis found it difficult to adapt to the English football. He finished his first season with only a handful of appearances and just 3 goals. Many players would lose confidence after the setback like that, but Tzolis rebuilt himself. He went on loan to Netherlands and Fortuna Düsseldorf, and it helped him mature. Then came the big move: Club Brugge. At Club Brugge, his numbers were completely different. He produced 43 goals and 45 assists in 108 games. Now those numbers look big. He looks productive. But look at his previous season: 22 goals, 29 assists, 51 goal contributions over a 52 game season for him. A goal a game, pretty much. A goal contribution a game. Those numbers show a player that isn't just talented, he's productive. The biggest criticism of Arsenal's attack in recent seasons has been efficiency. They create chances, but sometimes they need more players who can consistently turn opportunities into goals, and that is exactly what he will bring. For a winger, those are elite numbers. Why does Arsenal need him though? Our left wing is right now weak. Every player has a specific role. The wingers aren't just asked to beat defenders, they need to hold width, create chances, attack the box, press defenders, protect the fullbacks. He's that perfect profile. On one issue Arsenal have is over-reliance on players like Saka. Saka has been incredible, but he's now doubled up on. He's had injury problems for the last 2 years. Tzolis would give Arsenal another player capable of deciding matches. His attacking numbers show that last season he ranked among the best player in Belgium for goals, assists, chances created, expected assists, and shot creating actions. He doesn't just finish chances, he creates them too. And this season, Martinelli, 1 Premier League goal, I'm pretty sure it was. Trossard went on a big goal drought, and he's gone to Besiktas for 20 mil. Now, this could be one of the biggest reasons Arteta likes him. Arsenal don't just defend like a traditional team. They don't sit deep. They attack opponents immediately after losing possession. The first few seconds after losing the ball are crucial, and Tzolis has shown he has the physical ability and mentality to do this. Last season he averaged 3.6 tackles per 90, 1.3 successful tackles per 90, 2.1 recoveries per 90, 37 tackles and interceptions completed combined. An attacking winger, those are impressive defensive numbers. A lot of wingers only focus on goals and assists and usually won't track back and defend because they want to be hard at the pitch. Tzolis comes back to help the team defensively. When possession is lost, he immediately closes down defenders. He blocks passing lanes, he forces mistakes, and he helps the fullbacks defensively, and this is exactly what Arteta needs. He fits Arsenal's left wing role. The left wing role Arsenal's complicated position. The players need to provide width, but also attacking central spaces. Martinelli has shown he is excellent at running behind defenders. Trossard is excellent between the lines. Tzolis combines both qualities. He can stay wide and isolate defenders, cut inside onto a stronger foot, attack the penalty area, make runs in behind the defence. His movement is also one of the biggest strengths. He doesn't also just wait for the ball. He consistently moves defenders around. That creates space for players like Odegaard, Rice, Havertz, Gyökeres to use that space to create chances. His creativity is also underrated. 29 assists last year, elite creation numbers, high expected assist numbers. He is constantly creating the teammates. Arsenal have already got players who can finish. If you can get a good ball to Gyökeres, he will put it away. Unfortunately, what we have struggled with this season is giving Gyökeres good positions to finish in, but Tzolis will be able to do that. He also has Champions League experience. Arsenal are no longer just trying to qualify for Europe, they are trying to win the Champions League. Tzolis has already played European football and has shown he can perform against a stronger proposition. His experience dealing with defensive blocks, high pressure games, European matches. That experience is valuable when you're trying to win the biggest trophy in football. And now why this transfer fee could be a bargain. Now he won't be starting every game. I mean, we're linked to Rodgers. Loose links to Vinny. Don't know how true that is. But wingers usually can cost 70, 80, sometimes even £100 million. If Arsenal can sign Tzolis for 34 million, they could be getting one of the best value attackers in Europe. Because they're not just buying potential, they're buying production. He's already proved that he can score and create at 3 years old. He can improve. Now, of course, there's concerns. He's already failed in the Premier League. The Premier League is different. It's defensive. And as Arsenal have seen, just because you have good numbers outside of Europe, outside of England, doesn't mean it'll be great when you move. We've seen Gyökeres. He wasn't getting, no one expected him to get 50, 60 goals a season, but you're expecting better from him. But just because his previous stint in England wasn't successful, that doesn't mean anything. He was a teenager in a struggling team, a team that couldn't adapt to him. But now he's a more experienced player, a player who's improved his physicality, decision making and confidence. Tzolis is not the biggest name Arsenal can sign. It won't be the biggest name Arsenal will sign. But he can give Arsenal more goals, more creativity, more pressing intensity and more tactical flexibility. He fits the modern Arsenal winger profile. He can attack like a forward, defend like a midfielder. If Arsenal and Arteta can unlock this player who has dominated Belgium, Arsenal have found one of the most smartest signings of the summer. Because not always the best transfers are the biggest names. There are players who fit the system perfectly, and Tzolis can be exactly what Arsenal need. Now, thanks for watching, guys. In the comments, let me know. Do you think Tzolis could be the missing piece in the Arsenal attack, or should they go for a bigger superstar? Or do you think they will go for a bigger superstar? Let me know.